Hello everyone. So today we'll discuss about like Spotify, some of the Spotify APIs. So as we know, Spotify is basically is a music app. From there we can like listen lots of songs, musics. So it's actually storing all the information about the user. Like then like maybe user is suppose listening some music, so those information Spotify actually having those stored those informations and tracks, artists, all those things. So Spotify actually expose some like APIs. From there actually will get all those information. Like suppose if I am a user and I am listening some music, so now if if, as a user, like if I'm trying to get all the details, so Spotify from the Spotify whatever the APIs is Spotify actually exposing, so from the using those APIs we'll get the details from there, like what are the artists, what are the albums I've saved, what are the music I've listened in last 1 week or maybe in the last 3 months. So those kind of information you can easily get from the Spotify's APIs, and using that like we can create our own like music app. So for that we need to follow some approaches, and Spotify already like provided all the documentations in this here. Like what it means, we need to log in over here. Suppose if you are not a user, then you need to like first register into the Spotify as a developer. Like means if you want to get all the informations, if you want to access the like Spotify APIs, then you need to register in the like developer in the spotify.com, something like if you click this one, then it will be look like something this. Then from here you need to like create your own app actually, something like this one. So here actually you need to provide the name, description, website, and redirect URL. Okay, so redirect URL means so once so I'll come in later. Then in the create app, once you have created this app actually, then we need to it will actually record the API like authorization to obtain the access token. So actually for access those APIs actually we need actually access token. So using this access token actually we are able to call those means Spotify APIs. So for that actually we need to generate the access token. So for that we need to first log in actually, and then is in the login actually it will means there is one redirect URL. That means once the login is success, then it will redirection in which URL. So that particular URL actually we need to give over here. Okay, so that URL actually means suppose we are trying to log in. Once the login is success, then it will give us the return us with the access token. So then we need to store maybe, or maybe we need to store this session, because using this access token we need to call the rest of the APIs. Okay, so once this you are creating this app, like for example anything like whatever the it means you need to create, so you need to create from there. And then like we need to follow some other space like other things like create the app, this access token. It's having the means you need to having this account, Spotify account. And for creating the app, there's all the information is mentioning here, like this is the app name, then the description, and then the redirect URL that I was mentioning. Like means suppose after the login, in which URL actually they need to redirect, so that actually URL we need to means provide over here. So once we are getting the request the access token, then actually after getting the access token we need to call the like actual APIs. So as you can see over here, so these are the very easy for calling those APIs. Like this is the base URL authorization, then the request is a get, post, put, delete, all the things means whatever the response we are getting. Suppose if you are going to call those things, playlist, if you are trying to get the playlist, then it will look like something this. Rate limit also we can provide, like how much data we need to get in a per request. Scope, so this is actually like what are the scope actually we need to, for fetching the data we need to provide the scope actually, like read the playback state. So these are the also like scope. Here is a list of scope actually for playlist. Actually if we are want to get the playlist, read the private, so this scope actually we need to define when we are going to call those APIs. So I will also like create one demo purpose one. I will create one calling to the Spotify APIs, and it will return some data, and this particular data actually will display one UI. So for that I've used the React, and as a backend I've used the Spring Boot, so that I can integrate Spotify APIs with the Spring Boot, so that we can also display into the UI. So those kind of things we can display. So for the getting the albums, they are provided all the details like something like this. We need to call this one with this id means is the user id, and so that it will in a return it will return this kind of response we will get, like this one url, this is the image url, and then height, width. So those skins maybe we can display into the ui. So all the things over here you can guys can like check it out, those document. I'll share this link in the description section. Okay, next like artist also means all the information like this album, then artist, audiobooks, categorize, chapters, episode, genre. So lots of things actually it's provide, playlist, then like lots of the tracks. What are the tracks actually you need to, if they are listening some kind of tracks, so those information also you can get using over here. So actually Spotify provide lots of apis for that, so I will try to demonstrate it with the one or two apis. So without delaying, let's start with the real coding actually, so that it will be look familiar like how we are going to create those things. So let's create one program, let's create one project so that we can access those things. So like I have already created one project for integrate, which will actually like integrate the Spotify APIs with the uh, Spring Boot 3 and the Java 17. So if we are going to first check the like dependency wise, so it will actually we need to means Spotify for integrating calling the Spotify APIs. So they have already like provided one dependency, so that actually I've used. So this is the like Java for integrate with the Java kind of things. So this dependency is actually used. So this is the API. So this is the like actual dependencies that we are going to use. So as I'm using the Maven, so for this Maven we are going to use in this. If you're using the Gradle, so for the Gradle also they are providing the dependencies. So this is pretty much about this integrating using this jar file. And other than this dependencies, use this starter wave as we are going to create the REST controller for this one. And then like we are going to use the MySQL for saving the data into the database, as well as the Lombok. So this is about kind of dependencies management for this integrating this Spotify APIs with Spring Boot 3. So initially, like first of all, like how we are going to call this one. So first of all, like we need to create one configurations kind of things, which actually basically return as the Spotify API. So first of all, we need to define the redirect URL. So for like whenever we are doing the login actually, so in case of the login success, it will return the like something with code actually. Okay, so for returning something, so we need to provide the redirect URL. So this is actually redirect URL. So custom IP means, if we are go over here in the properties file, I was defining this customer server IP. Okay, so this is basically front-end IP. So with that also I am integrating this Spring Boot APIs with React. Okay, so I am also created one applications in the front end in a React actually, which will actually what it will do, whatever the API is we are creating in this Spring Boot actually, those API will calling from the React, so that we can visualize all the things like how it will actually fetch the tracks, or maybe saved album, or maybe any other APIs whatever you will going to write. So how we are going to integrate all the things and how it will be visualized, so that it will looks easy, right? So this is the server IP and this is the redirect URL. Okay, so this is for the Spring Boot server and this is for the React server. So this is basically the like redirect kind of URL, like as you can see, redirect server IP. So it will be a kind of Spring Boot IP, and then we are providing. So there is a two important part, and means this is the one important, and another two important part is whenever we are going to create this API, we need to provide the client ID as well as the secret ID. These are very important. As you can see, we are also passing the redirect URL. So how you are going to create this one means, whenever you are going to log in into the Spotify dashboard, developer dashboard. So and then for creating the like app, they are means we need to follow some approach. Once you are creating the like applications in the developer dashboard, as I was showing earlier, then from there it will generate as the client ID as well as the client secret ID. Those secret IDs actually we need to provide over here. Okay, else it will not work. Okay, so once we will create this one, Next, what we will do, we will create the entity. So entity means this is the database entities. So for that, here actually we are storing this access token. Okay, and this is a repository for fetching, means fetching the data, means it will fetch the by the reference ID. Reference ID is nothing, it is just a like user ID, whatever the user ID is, Spotify user ID we can say. So that is the search by this user. Next, like we need to create one like APIs, okay, means controller. So let's create one controller. Okay, okay, I have created this controller. Okay, so here first of all, this is the login API, this is the get user code API, and third one is for redirection of the home. It will fetch the like saved album, mean whatever the user, suppose in a Spotify they are saved some album, so it will return us some those albums from the Spotify, and this will actually return us all the top songs. Okay, so let's go one by one. So for the login, as you can see, we have auto this Spotify configuration. So this configuration we have created over here. So this configurations, using this we are getting the object, and based on this object we are calling this authorization code URI. This is basically responsible for return as the code. This is basically necessary, this code is basically necessary for getting the access token. Okay, and for calling this one we need to provide the scope. So this is basically, we need to provide the scope, that what kind of the informations we are going to fetch from the Spotify. So those kind of scope actually we need to provide over here. There is another information, this is a show dialog. So this is in case of the login, actually you can see it will actually show as the one pop-up. So this is if we are not going to enable this one, then it will not showing over here. So once we are built, then it will return this request. That means this is a request, and based on this request we will execute this one, and it will return as the URI. This particular URI we are returning from over here, and then this from the like, it's a kind of the callback from the Spotify, that I was saying, the redirect URL from the Spotify. This is calling this particular API. Okay, with this code, then using this code actually we will calling this authorization code, and then execute. So in the response of this one we are getting the access token as well as the refresh token. So for getting the now in the next step, what we are doing, using this access token we need to set in the object, this Spotify object. So next, using this object we are getting one service call, actually one service, get current user profile. This actually is responsible for return us all the user related information. As you can see, once we are executing this one, it will return us the user. This particular user having all the information like birth date, country, display name, email, and then ID. This is the user ID, Spotify user ID, image, all the information is having. So next what we are doing, we are getting the user from over here. Next, I created one service. Actually this service is basically responsible to save the user into the database. So what we are doing, we are searching with the ID into the database. If this particular ID is available, then we are setting the data, means updating the data over here. Else we are creating the object, and then we are saving the data into over here. Okay, so this is the responsible for the get user code, means we are fetching the code, getting the code, and accordingly code we are getting the authorization access token, and based on that we are getting the current user profile, and next we are saving the data. Next, okay, so then we are actually from here, actually we are redirecting to the over here. So in response, what it will do, it will actually redirect to this home page. As I was saying that I was also developed this one to integrate this APIs with the React. So for that we need to redirect into the home page. So actually we need to visualize all those things, like how it will be look like if we fetch all the tracks for the particular user, if we are going to fetch all the saved album from the user, how it will be look like into the like in the React application. So that's why it's kind of the redirections. Okay, now if you click on the home again, so it will be written as only user ID. With this user ID we are actually sending the redirection over here. Now how you are like get fetch all the saved album for a particular user. So for that we need to pass this user ID. Next, what we are doing, we are fetching the data from the database, and then from here we are get the access token, and then we are call this get current user saved album. Okay, with this limit we need to provide like how much data we need to fetch, 50, 10. So maybe if there is some situation happen that it's a particular user having lots of album, maybe thousands, so in a single time we need to fetch all the details, it will not a good idea. So that's why there is a limit. Then once we are going to execute this one, then it will return as a paging top saved album, and from there we are getting the item, so it will return the saved album array, and from then using this we are display all the things so in the UI. Next, user top songs, that means it is a like fetch all the tracks, top songs actually, from the Spotify APIs. So for that, this is also the same approach. We are first fetching the user details, we are setting the access refresh token, and based on that we need to call the user top tracks. So as we are saying, get current user save details, and this is a get user top tracks, and then we are providing the time range. That means what range we are need to get, all the like medium range, maybe it's a short term, maybe long term. Okay, so these three types of range is over, and also same as I mentioned earlier, the limit also you can provide here. So once you build, execute this one, then it will return as a paging of the tracks, and here also return get items, so it will return as a tag of array. So this is over, means here actually we are going to integrate these three APIs. One actually the current profile, which actually return us all the profile related things, and we are saving all the user profile information into database, and then we are going to fetch the saved album, which will display into the UI, and same for the user top songs. Okay, so these songs, top songs also are going to like saved, means we are going to display into the UI. So for that we are going to need to create React applications, and from there we are going to integrate these APIs from the React APIs, React portal, so that it will be, we can visualize all those things. Okay, so let's integrate with the React APIs. Okay, let's connect this Spring Boot app, whatever we have created from over here. We are going to connect these APIs from the React APIs. So I have created one small applications is a React. So for basically for React, actually what we need to do, we need Node.js into our local, and whatever the latest version you are having, so this node is needed for developing this one, and nothing is else is required. Node, and automatically npm it will be installed, so that you guys can create those things. Once your node is installation is done, then we just need to create our applications over there, and from here it will like generate those things. Okay, so for basically we are having four menus. One is the login, then home, then songs, and then top album actually are going to display in the basically UI. So whenever actually you are going to log in, so initially it will show us the one login page. So how it will be look like, it will only show one button, and it will be written login with Spotify. Once it will click, then it will redirect to the, like it will redirect to the in this page, login page. Okay, so login page meaning in this particular get mapping, what it will do, it will actually do the authorization code, means it will with this particular scope it will logged in, it will call the Spotify APIs for authorized code with this scope. So once it will call this particular authorization, then it will return, means it will redirect with these APIs with the code. Then once it will redirect, then it will actually basically fetch the access token from the it will call the again another APIs from the Spotify, using the Spotify APIs actually. It is actually with the code, user code, whatever it will return from over here, so that code actually they are returned. Okay, so this using this code it will return access token, get the access token from the here, and based on the access token we are calling the following APIs. Okay, so for starting this one, you need to start it like npm start. So I've already started with this npm start, and it's started in the localhost 300 port. So I will started already this project, and after this, once this login is done, then it will redirect to the like header page, in the home, and there is a header.js. So header means it will actually just showing the mapping, like in using this home, it will mapping with this home. If it is a top albums, then it will redirect to the top albums. If it is a top tracks, then it will redirect us to the top tracks. Now if we look at in the home, Then in the home page actually we are not showing showing nothing actually. It's a just empty page. You can see like in the home page, if it is over here, then it will just return as the like user ID. Now suppose if we are going to into the like top tracks, means from the here, like in the header, if we click on the top albums, then it will click on the top albums. So how we are going to check this one? Like in the app.js we are having the link, right? Means if it is a top tracks, then it will call this top songs. If it is a top album, then it will call the top albums. So let's check this top songs. So how, what it will do, it in the top songs actually it is calling this user top songs API in the here. So in the user top songs actually we are calling the user top tracks, and it is written as the medium term, and limit is 10, means only 10 it will fetch us. If you are having 15, then also it will return only the 10 tracks for us. Then it will return the track of array. Okay, so this array actually then response actually is set over data, and then here actually if it is having this data, then it will actually iteration over here. So using the image list item we are displaying the data like song dot name, then so album means image, actually whatever the album image that we are showing over here, src set, then dot, so all means also the item bar, image list item bar. So we are also showing the song dot name, song dot album dot artist name, so all those things we are showing over here. And same for the album also, if we are click on the album, then it is calling the user saved album with this user id. Like as you can see in the user saved album, we are passing this user ID, and based on the user ID we are fetching the current saved album from the Spotify API, and its limit is 50. And again when we are executing, then it is the paging up saved paging of the saved album. So that means in the items it is return of the saved album array. So using this array actually we are showing means we are again iterating using the image list item, and here also doing the same thing as we are showing in the top song. So in this way we are also printing the details over here, but in the header only you will show the three menus: home, top album, top tracks, and the logout. If we are doing the logout, then it will log out from the system, and then but if we click on the home, then it will redirect to the home. If top albums, then it is using this top album as I was showing over here, top tracks and the top album. Okay, so this is all about this React kind of thing. Now if we logged in actually over here, so it will show us something, this button, so that we have defined over here. Like if we are clicking in this login, then we will check this login with Spotify. Now if we click this one, then it will, okay, you can see this is a Spotify login that we do. This particular app that we have created in the using the like developer dashboard related to the Spotify app, then it will like ask us to view your Spotify account, your email. So that's kind of thing, what kind of things we need to do. You saved in your library your top artists and content, take actions, or maybe you can logged in from here if using another account, or maybe not. Okay, so once you agree, then it will redirect to the this page: home, top album, top tracks, and logout, as I was shown over here that we are having this page, right? uh, in the header, as you can see, home, top album, top tracks, and the logout. So this page we are showing over here. Now if you click on the top album, so it will return as this top album is saved. Okay, so it's a saved album, so it will return as the top saved album, and accordingly it will display. Now again if we are click on the top tracks, so it will return the all the tracks. Okay, medium term tracks. So these are the tracks that that actually it will return us. Okay, so now suppose you click on the home, then it will return to home, if albums, and then tracks. Okay, so that's how like we are going to integrate like all the APIs from the Spotify, and how we are also displaying all the things in the like one Frontend API, so that we are going to means as we are visualize all those things right in this way. So this is like I hope you guys can understand like how we are going to integrate first of all like with the Spring Boot to the Spotify app, and then all the APIs into the React application. Okay, so this is very easy actually. There is nothing is complex over here. If you guys have anything, please do let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.